thoughts on getting back at it? Balls bouncing again.
It's the sound of music to all of us, particularly when we've had that much time off. The guys, I think, we're fresh in the mind, bodies are sharp, and we're able to have a very productive morning.
Anyone held to the side a little bit, maybe at a caution or just not fully
No,
there?
no.
Eric, there have been some times where I remember during the big three at the beginning was putting in the defense first and kind of working from that. Is there any kind of schedule as far as when you start to implement specific things, or?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing both. We spent a little bit of time installing and teaching some offensive principles today, but that took a little bit more time doing that. But we still got to our defense. We're always going to touch on that every single day. So I would say it was a fair amount of both.
I know you guys do this pretty much every year, whether it's West Palm or the Bahamas, but just to have this week together as a group, kind of away from everything.
You hear all the things of like, hey, it's great to get away for the camaraderie and connection and building, and yes, that's a big part of it. It also signals that this is different. This is the start of a new beginning, a new opportunity. You get away for training camp, you can kind of just focus on each other, focus on putting in the foundation for the season, and it should feel different than a regular season practice in January, February.
It's the fourth time here in the last 11 years. Talk to me about what's the same and what's different for you guys.
Being down here, it always feels great. We love coming down to the Bahamas. We feel like they're more than our neighbors. It's part of our extended family down here. So many of us travel here, with our families during the off season. Training camps have been productive for us here. As soon as we touch down and we land, it just feels right.
The last time I asked you, how would it feel to be your last cap with Udonis? But I see he's still here, so I guess he didn't escape you this day.
Yeah, we like it. Yeah.
I'm just talking about UD still being here. Because last time I said UD didn't make was going to be your last camp with UD. Oh, but he's still.
I didn't hear. I'm sorry.
I know, that's fine.
Oh no, UD's always been still around. Look at he's lifting weights right now. He's doing deadlifts as we talk. He jumped in a few of the pre-practice drills. He's the best mentor in the league. He has been for a decade plus, and he continues to be. And he feels most at home mentoring when he's on the wood, with these guys. But it's always great to have him, in the mix.
What do you say about a guy like Nasir, former first-round pick, kind of putting himself in this position to bet on himself and try to earn a roster spot?
I respect that he's willing to do it, to bet on himself, to bet on development at this point, because when you're a former first-round pick, you probably do have some opportunities if you're patient to explore. He wanted to invest in development that'll be longer lasting, and there are no guarantees. That's just where we are with our roster right now, but we are in full open arms to give them everything we have to develop them and help them reach another level. So it's exciting for both parties.
Eric, is there an empathy for what Mike McDaniel's dealing with? You've been around losing a leading man, having to work through tough times, and just to sort of see where the Dolphins are now and where Mike is trying to take his team.
Yeah, I think he probably feels most alive within the adversity. That's what this profession is. It's not all sunshine and roses. And there are things you cannot predict. And we were watching the game last night, a lot of us, after our team meeting. What you really just want in those scenarios is just somehow to quiet all the chaos and noise from the outside. Everything just starts to ramp up, and that's the nature of the business. We signed up for it. I recognize the noise when I hear it and when I see it. It's probably, what makes me feel alive. It's probably, what makes fan bases and inexperienced people really super uncomfortable. But this is the nature of pro sports. There's adversity, and it's how you respond to that, and finding a silver lining, and ultimately, finding a benefit from it.
Eric, did you have any interactions with Dikembe over the years?
A few, most of them through stories through Alonzo. It was a really sad day yesterday. I did a trip, with the NBA to Africa, and just learned so much more about his outreach. I had read about it, I had heard about it, I had seen many documentary pieces about how much influence he had, but I didn't really understand the scope and how selfless he was with not only his resources, but his connections that he's made in this league to be able to provide opportunities for a generation coming up. I was so inspired, from that trip, and so much of it was because of Dikembe's reach and influence.
Eric, over the summer you spent most of your time with the Olympics, and we as the Bahamas, we are one game away from finally making our first Olympics in our country's history. Talk about, what do you see from if you scouted the Bahamas? How close do you think it would be for us?
I don't know about that. I'm not well versed enough on all of that. I just know it's a beautiful thing when players come together to play and compete for their country. It's a different level of passion. That's one of the things that I really enjoyed about the World Championships and the Olympics was observing the other teams and their legacies and histories with their countries. All right, thank you.
Thank